Copy. Okay. Oops. Is this working? I think it's working. Just need to double check. This is my first time doing a stream, so give me a sec. Okay, hello, hello, test, test. Is this working? Okay, so it seems like it's working. Perfect. In this case, let's get started. Give me a second. Okay. So I apologize. There you go. I should be ready to start now. So the first thing we're gonna do is give you a first impression of the game, or at least how far you've gone in the development. So I'll need to go to the Unity editor. I disable this and go to here. There you go. This way I'm all small in the bottom right. So what we'll do is go to the play. We'll go to master scene. If there's any problems in this scene or anything, if there's any problem with the stream, make sure to say it in the chat. I'll go to the master scene. Master scene, main master scene. So for those of you that are new to Potion Blast, essentially it's a multiplayer game, local multiplayer game, where 4 people are battling out in an arena. Let me grab a controller. There you go. Okay, there you go. So this is the main menu where you can go in and choose your options, etc. We'll go straight to Venture Forth. Choose the versus battle, where you can select your character. The character is only a visual part of the game. The character you choose doesn't change anything within your abilities. They're all the same except for visually and maybe some special effects and sounds that are different. Here I'm gonna choose these two. These are still a placeholder art. They're not final. And you'll see that once I open the game, there are some things that changes. On the left you can see some tips that we're gonna add that are gonna fade in, fade out. Here you can select your different game modes that you want. Currently we only have a single one that works, but we'll see if we can add more as time goes on. Once we begin, we can select the map. Currently we have 2 maps that are in the works, and this one has at least 6 stages. We're gonna select this one. Here you can select the stage you want to play in. The thing you need to understand is each stage take about 1.5 minutes to finish. So it's gonna scroll through all of these. You'll see as soon as we enter. There seems to be an error, but hopefully that doesn't impact gameplay in any way. I can move my character here with my controller. I can jump, and the point of the game is getting those potions, which are going to give you mana. You can drink them, and then cast some spell where we've done a fusion of these potions. So for example, if I take some electricity and some fire, then it'll give me this spell right here. And if I take just some normal rocks, then it gives me the ability to create some platforms, which is pretty cool. And there you go. So essentially this is the game. Obviously you need 2 players at least to play it. There is no planned single player mode. We're only gonna be doing PvP essentially. So once you kill a character, then you get some points, or at least 1 point, and it does a transition to another scene, and there you go. So this is the new stage. There's still some placeholder art for most of these, but not all. And that's essentially what the game is all about. It's supposed to be quick-paced and quite chaotic with a lot of things going on. Since it's going to be a four-player game, mostly I think the most fun will be once everyone's going to cast spells in every single place with the different combinations and etc. We're hoping to add also in the stage some traps or some events where you can trigger things directly from the environment instead of through the different players. As for the abilities, you can jump with the character. There's also a double jump. There's a shield that you can press. Currently the shield, there's a bug, so you can move with the shield, but normally you wouldn't be able to. There's also a dash, which is currently working on the right side. I'm not really sure why. There is a lot of bugs in this game currently. We're still in development. And apart from this, yeah, you can grab potions, throw them, or grab potions and drink them to create your different abilities. And that's essentially all there is. So in this stream, what we're going to do is work on parts of the game, essentially the UI within the main menu. If we go back to the main menu, the part that we're missing, or at least we're going to try to improve, is the very beginning at this place right here. We're going to change those buttons here, and hopefully we're going to also change the options menu, which currently we can't even see them selecting these other things. Here I'm pressing up, pressing down. There's no noise, there's no sounds, and you can't really see what I'm selecting or if I'm moving anything. So that's about it. That's what we're gonna do today. If you have any questions, then don't hesitate to say it in chat. Hopla. The way this is set up actually for the game is we have a scene in the, where is it? Right here. So right here we have a master scene, which is always loaded when the game first enters, and then we additively add the other scenes in. So if I go back without going to maximize play mode, you'll see what I mean on the right. You can see I have my main master scene, which is loaded first, and then I've got the master menu, main menu scene outside, and main menu scene inside. And once I would go inside play mode, you'll see that those main menus are going to be removed, and the stage will be added instead. So as you can see, removed. Then there's a master battle scene, which controls everything that is related to all the zones. And then there is the zone, which has all the stages as prefabs inside it. There you go. So let's go back to my main master menu scene, which is this one, which has all the buttons that we're going to try to edit. So if I go to the title menu, right here inside this prefab, I have the buttons. So if I enable it, we should be able to see, where is it? This is the away camera. This is start panel. So I should enable this canvas. There you go. So now I have this canvas enabled, and we can try to change those buttons right here. So essentially what we want is some buttons that aren't just white, normal white. So we're gonna change the UI, or what is called, the image, which is the UI sprite, but we're gonna do it in the prefab. This way we can actually see what we're doing, and it will replicate it for the other buttons too. I'm using a custom UI button right here called UI button. If I go inside the script, then you'll see that it inherits the base Unity button class, and I'm essentially overriding everything, which is the selection, the transitions between the button, etc. This way, any script that I have that works with a button can also work with my UI button, but I have complete control over how this button works, because the Unity button has some restrictions that are sometimes not very friendly to work with. I'm using an animator in this case. I could be using some tweening if I wanted to, but visually I think it's easier to work with those animations, at least for the start, and then if I want to convert it for some reason, whether it's performance or whatever, then I can. There's no problem on that. So let's give it a try. We've got our interactable, which is this part of the button. And then we've got our visuals, which is this part of the button. So we're going to change this for something else. Let's check it out. In my project, there's a love art, UI art, which is essentially things I've downloaded from the Unity Asset Store. As you can see on my project folder right here, I do have a ton of things. I've set it up so that anything that is inside the Push and Blast extra is actually things that are from the asset store. So I've got a lot of things for sound, VFX, or UI in this case. Some of these things are mainly placeholders, or they will be placeholders, and if we have time, we'll change them. If not, then we'll keep them. It's just a question of keeping the flow as fast as possible so that we can iterate from the development side of things, and that's about it. So let's see. Do I have any buttons that are actually nice? Not great. Perhaps there's something else I could be using. In cases like this, when I'm not very sure what I should choose, those packs right here for UI, they have some prefabs that come with them, and in some cases they already have buttons preset. So if I can just import all of these, then I can see what they look like visually. Yeah, there you go. And then I can choose the one I prefer and keep it. In my case, well, this is lagging a lot. Maybe that was a bad idea. Let's see. Let me grab this here. Okay. Perhaps if I unselect the visualize button, I do need to go on interactable to do this. Navigation, visualize, turned off. There you go. That was the problem. Yeah, the visualize thing is very useful when you're trying to debug why your selection isn't going the right way, but it does take a lot of processing power. Here we've got a few buttons I could choose from. None of them are really what I'm trying to go for. Perhaps this yellow button could work, or the gray one, but I'm gonna see if I can find something else that is more the style I'm going for. So I'm gonna remove all of these. I've got some other UI packs. So this one, prefabs, buttons. There's a lot of buttons in here. Okay, so this is more casual. Some of these could work. Still not exactly what I'm going for. I mean, I could get started with some of these. Let me see. Oh, these are just pure color with just rounded edges. There's some gray ones. I think for now I'm leaning towards the other ones. So this one, the fantasy. Let's see, the yellow one was the one I preferred, I think. This one. Yep. Okay, so for now let's go with this. We can always change them later, as long as it's not just a white background, which is kind of not very nice to look at. Look at the image here. I got a button with different colors, and then here we've got our Text Mesh Pro, etc. Okay, so let's just take this image. We'll remove this because we don't need it anymore. Now that we know what our image looks like, we'll take this and put it here. Okay, so we got this right here, and then for typo, let's see, for the Text Mesh Pro font, we're currently using this one called Noto Sans. One of the main reasons we're using this one is because it works with different not languages, but different glyphs. So it should be able to work with Chinese or Japanese, Korean, etc., which saves a lot of time in our case. This way, if we want to do some localization, we don't even need to change the font. So we'll go with this Venture 4. If I go back, there you go. We've got our buttons, our nicely set up, since I already had the prefabs ready. And for the animation, if we can preview it, we can just select right here a button, go under the animation tab. And if I scale through, then we've got normal, highlighted. What does it do? Then it just, yeah, it's just a scale and color that changes. Not much. So it should just work. Let's give it a try. So since I'm loading right here from the main master scene, what you see on the screen is gonna be something that's missing. Let me see. There might be some errors. There you go. I think I was just trying to load something. Okay, so now I can select them, but the problem I have is the color doesn't really suit me because now I'm not really sure what I'm selecting. What I could do is have this one be a different color from the other two, since this one is the main button I want people to select, and then also have a color for the transition for when it is not selected, or when it's selected to be lighter, or the other way around, to at least have a contrast. So let's see, we've got the start button, and then we've got the other two buttons. So what I'll do is create a prefab or variant for all of these. So if I select this button, this is called start button. What I could do is from my option button, just drag and drop it. It tells me I have to open the prefab, so let's go. This is to open the title view menu prefab, and I'm gonna drag and drop this, do prefab variants, and now I have prefab variant for this one. And the quit button also, prefab variant. This way I can change them without too many worries of changing the initial one. So anything I change in this one will replicate in the other two, but then I can override some of the values in here. The first thing I'll do is take the visual part inside the animation, I believe. There we go. Of this, we've got our normal, which is not highlighted, and then we've got our highlighted version. with a color, and inside this color, what I could do is maybe make it brighter or the other way around. So let's see if we do 0.5 on all of these. What do we got? Something that's not very good. Let's see. We do 0.8. Let's see if that makes sense. I was also thinking we could add a different color for the other two. So in this one, what I could do is take the image, and instead of the yellow, perhaps we could go with what do we have that isn't too problematic. There is the choice to make it white, and then once you select it, we make it yellow. But I'm not really sure that's what I want. I could make it white and then change the color in script. That could be an option actually. Let me go back inside. Take this, make it white. There you go. Then in the highlighted version, then I could put all of these to 1 where it was before. And what do we see here? So it used to change the color to yellow, right? So let's see. Let's see what the result of this. It takes a second to load. There you go. So we do have this. It's better than before, definitely, but not great either. I think perhaps it's just the color. That's not really what I want for the yellow part. Maybe I should do it more orange. Let's see. If I change it here, could do more of an orange. It's not changing because obviously the animation is the one that's changing. So let me pause the game and then change it here to at least preview what it could look like. There's no way to do it. Okay, that is a shame. So let me try to hack it a little bit. I'll just remove this animation, and then now you'll be able to change this. There you go. So at least this way I can preview the color I'm going for. So maybe an orange. Or if I take the color of this actually, the logo, that could be a good thing. The logo is gonna change, so it's not gonna be those colors in the end. At least it gives me a way to see what it could look like if I did choose the logo. Maybe if I go with this color. No, this is way too red. And then this will be more of a bluish instead of orange. But I do like this. This color looks pretty cool. And then for the white, perhaps instead of white, I could choose something else. But the first thing I'll do is copy this for sure. Here I've got the values. I'll copy. And then once I go inside my prefab, we can see that what's changing the color is going to be the animation. So we're going to select our animator, select the button. Right here I've got our color that is animating normally. So this is normal, there's nothing that's happening. But if I go selected, then here we've got our color. And I can just press record, take this image and paste. There you go. So now it should just work. Perhaps I need to do the same in some other places. So here we've got pressed. It does this animation. So in all of these cases, the color is the same. So I could essentially do this image, paste, and then I copy the color and I paste the color on all of these. There you go. Okay, and finally I've got highlighted, which also needs to be changed. Control V, and there you go. Now it uses the new color that we've made. Okay. I do think it's better, but I do not like the white part of the buttons. I think it's kind of lacking. So I'll probably choose another color. Perhaps the yellow that was before. And then it'll make something a little nicer. These buttons also needs to change. I'm not quite sure what I want for those since they're mainly floating around. I had some ideas, but the main thing I want to focus on today is gonna be this one, because there is some codes that needs to be done to select them properly. So let's go back and change the whites to something else. Okay, let's check this out. So we've got the normal color. The normal color, this is a single frame. Yeah, it's a single frame, so that's fine. So color right here, we've got this color. Let's record, break this, and we'll do the yellow, I think. So I'll do, this will go to yellow to orange. I think that's gonna look better than white to orange. There you go. So I'm gonna copy this to all of these ones. So disable, we're never gonna hit disable button, at least never, at least for now, we're not gonna disable the button. Highlighted, and we'll take this, up, record, paste, then normal also is already done, rest is already this color, and then selected is the one that's missing. So record, paste. Okay, so I think this is gonna look at least a little bit better. Let's change the base color also. This way we can preview. Okay, press play. Okay, I do think this is better. Not the best, but I think we can proceed from here. At least it gives us an idea of what I'm trying to go for. Then there's always an artist that can go back and change some of these things. What we're gonna try to do now is the options menu. This way we can at least see what we're selecting and change quite a few things on here. The options that we have is languages. Languages, for now, these are the languages we've got in mind for localization. I'm not sure if we're gonna have all of them ready for launch, but at least some of these will be. I've got full screen toggle, which works in a build. Obviously, I'll need to test that to make sure. We've got volume, music, and sound effects all separated. This way we have finer control over all of these. The resolution is currently set to 6048, but I think it's not selecting the correct one. I haven't written the code for that. We've got reset to default, which is obviously resetting all of these things to whatever it was before. And we've got delete save data right here. The save data will have a single save for the entire game. Essentially, it will save stats of which character won, or how many times you died, how many times you won, how many times you've casted a spell or drank a potion, etc. This is not set up right now, but it will be in the future. We've got a back button, and hopefully at some point I also want to add a button to do control remapping, because there's quite a few buttons that you can choose from, and being able to change how you want to play, especially in keyboard with WASD in some different AZERTY or QWERTY keyboards, then it might be at different places. So this will be important. Not something we're going to do today, but definitely something to keep in mind. Let's disable. This is the button panel we had before. Actually, no, I'll disable this. We'll disable canvas. Okay. So the settings menu is going to be within the title menu. No, it's within the main menu, ground floor. I'm actually not really sure where the settings menu is. Let me just write settings. I'll find it. System settings menu, there you go. Here it is. Okay, it's inside the options menu. It's actually already opened for us. We've got our camera and our systems menu right here. Okay. So the goal actually will be to make it such that when the camera goes into the position, this would already be there inside the environment, instead of being something that pops up. To do this, we can just do a render texture or make the canvas a world-based canvas. This is something we could do later, but at least the functionality is something we're going to do today. We've got our languages, which is this prefab right here, and then we've got all of these, which are not prefabs, which we're all going to change, and then we've got the other buttons, which probably need a way to confirm with a pop-up, because right now if you want to reset all to the default, then that's fine. But let's say if you want to delete your save data, you probably want to have a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to delete your save data? Just so you don't press it on by mistake. And then back button, obviously, is the back button. Let's see, how could we do this in a way that's not too bad. So we got our button here, which is a prefab. We've got all of these prefabs right here already set up. We just need to change the different things. So an option button, similar to before, we can change the UI. There you go, UI. We'll check for a button. Let's see, what do we have? So we got all of these buttons. Very nice. What did we choose before? It was something called yellow, right? So we got yellow square, button. So button is called BTN. Okay, let's double check if I can go back here and do BTN instead of button. Okay, this way we have more choices of things we can select. So this doesn't look great. Perhaps for this menu in particular, what we could do is select something that are a bit more simple. So round buttons, definitely not. Why do we have this one? I'm not really sure why it does this weird thing at the end. Why it curves. Perhaps it's supposed to be used for buttons that are a bit fatter. But in our case, the buttons are going to be quite rectangular. Maybe I should do it a bit bigger, just in case. So it's probably not a good idea to reuse the same button, but let's see. What do we have here? These are card frames. And we got this button rectangular. Not quite sure what we should go with. Could go with the white one, at least for now, just to get something. So this is, what do we have? Languages, reset button, default. All of these buttons are very big, not really sure why. They definitely crushed the thing underneath. I'm just gonna save and double check. Okay, so they're definitely too big. Not really sure why changing the image changed the size of it, but never mind. I think it's probably because I'm using some layout tools. I got the layout, and the child can control the height and the width. Okay, that's probably why it did that. Let's give us this a try. So, oh, languages. Oh, so this is not selecting at all. Okay. I'm trying to figure out some of these things as I go on, because I'm not quite sure how they work. It's been a while since I changed anything UI related. Let's go back to this. Okay, so we got the languages button. Let's see if I can change it so it's not so big. We got this, we can change the pivots and the scale, position Z, but we cannot edit the height. Why is that? Let's see, control size, width, control child size. Does that mean that all of these ones are just very small? Okay. Yeah, probably that's the reason. Because I would check the height here, this is 0. Why would this be 0? Then what I'm gonna do is this remove. This one, these guys can change their scale or their height, and they can have different button size. All of these. So let's see. All of these buttons right here, languages. Maybe languages. I'm gonna put it at the bottom. Up on the prefab, obviously. Languages bottom. Probably need to apply my change I did here. Go to overrides. Apply all. Okay, go inside. So I've got my languages button. Okay. My languages button right now is just a text with something. Perhaps what I could do is add an icon in each of them. I think that would look nice. So I've got some text. Maybe I'll add an image. UI image. Put it on the left side. Put some offset, maybe 50. And then right here I can choose whatever I want. This is just going to be an example, so icon. This right here is just to see the size of the icon itself. So let's try to, what do I have? There you go. Something like this. I can put this button right here. I think this could look nice. And obviously this would be some other color that we want. At least gives you a look at what it could be. So let's see, languages. Perhaps we've got an icon for that. Right here we've got the different flags. Is there one that's a base flag or multiple flags? Nope. Maybe I could do a script that shows the language that is already selected. I think that could look nice. So let's see. If I do this, this is sized. This is a square, but if I change it to not be a square, do set native size, and I just whoop, didn't select it correctly. There you go. I think this could look nice. And then for the other ones, be anything really. Let's see. What other options do I have? Reset to default. Could be one of the settings. Okay. And then save data could be something else. What do I have here? Maybe some stop? No. Block. Okay, I think that's looking good. And then back would be just a back button. Do we have a back button? Back. Something like this, perhaps, or a little arrow. What do we have? Perhaps something like this. Maybe not so red. Can we take the same red as this? This way it's looking similar. Okay, so I think this looks much better than before. They're still very big. Let's see if we can go inside this. This was 100 for some reason. I'm not allowed to change this. Okay, so I'll just select all of these. And we'll set them to maybe 80. I do not have a lot of space, so I need to be careful of this. But perhaps 80 looks pretty good. Let's see with 70. Okay, 70 looks good too. Okay, I'll just need to make sure that I have a script that can change this icon. We'll need to keep that in mind. And then the other ones, let's see. If this were all 70, perhaps I can grab off these, put 70 for now. And they're very big. And I do not have enough space for all of those. I don't even have a title for this page. Maybe I don't need one. What's for sure is that this is way too big of space. So let's do 50, 45. Okay, at least this is a good starting point, I think. We'll need to make sure that these buttons right here are selectable. And then when we select those, it basically allow us to change what's in here. So there's two different ways we could do this. Either puts some kind of selectable on the left, like a button or a little icon that gets activated once it's selected. Or we can make this into a button, like the entire thing. I'm not really sure what's best. I think a good thing we could do is this website called UI Game Database, something like this. Game UI Database. This is a good resource if you want to check for something in particular for a game. For example, adventure. There you go. You can see all the UI for the game, which is extremely useful. In our case, we'll search for some settings menu. Let's see. Display settings, settings menu. Okay. So something like this where you've got a little arrow that's pointing, or like this with a little bar that tells you this is selected. I think we could go with something like this. And then for the buttons, we'll have to see for the buttons, because we want to make sure that everything looks similar. If not, at least they look like the same UI. I've got some things here. Let's see. Because here they've got everything under sub-menus, and I don't really want that. If possible, I want to have everything in one place, except for languages, obviously, because if you're gonna have a lot of languages, better to have a grid of languages rather than something else. I've got audio. I think perhaps I could do something like this, where it just selects with the little arrow and some selection where it changes the color. And then you can change whatever is on the right also at the same time. Yeah, let's go with something like this, where you've got a little icon and it changes also your color. So for that, I'll have to go inside the graphics and all of these essentially. They have a prefab right here, which is this part. So I'll want this and this to be the same, and all of these to be the same. And then obviously the toggle. What I'm going to do is this part. So this part, what it could be is a script, which is not going to be a selectable, because I want these ones to be a selectable. But what I could do is, as soon as this one is selected, I do something with the left part. This way I don't need to mess up with this part at all. Let's give it a try. So this is my full screen. This toggle is a selectable, so we'll create a script. Let's see. Where do I have my scripts? Now here we have my UI button. So we'll call this one. I think the only place where I'm doing this is in the selection menu, or the option menu. So for now we'll do a public class selection button. And we'll make it a mono behavior. So it's not really a button. Let's put a selection element. You can always rename it later. Let me put this inside the new script, move to selection element. I'll also move some of these scripts on the left so that you can see a bit better what I'm doing, and zoom in. Okay, so what we'll want is serialized field, protected. We're gonna have an image, and the image is going to be the little icon that we have. Let's call this the icon, and we're gonna have a serialized field for the thing we're changing. So this could be not really sure what I could change, but for now let's say a selectable. Probably in start or wake, what we're gonna do is check the selectable. Oops. And the selectable might have some events, so we're going to try to see if it has an event. Select. Is there an unselect? Nope. Selected, so it seems it doesn't have any events. We'll see if we can change this to something else then. Let me give it another try. So we got a selectable right here, and this doesn't have any events. Yeah, something when we change. Maybe I could change it completely and make this the entire selectable thing. We'll see how that works. If we go that route, then selection menu would not be a mono behavior, but would be a selectable. So we can select this and then make sure that the selectable that is inside is not selected by default, but then when we press things on this, it presses on the other one. Not great. Another solution could be to use my UI button script for everything. I'm not a fan of that either, because we're trying to do something else in this case. Let's see the toggle script and the selectable. So we got our eye mover, eye pointed down, eye select handler. So I guess what we should do is use one of these things to get an event, and then send it to my other script to know that what was selected. Because this is not enough. Or we could use an animation just like we did for the buttons, and then we animate more than just this. We animate the whole thing. I'm not a real fan of that option, but perhaps if we animate a custom script, then I could select this part. That could be an option. Yeah, let's give this a try. I mean, this is an iteration process. I might not have the right thing at the start, but as soon as I make changes, I can find the right solution. So I've got my icon, I got my selectable. Do serialized field, protected. I'll do another image, which is gonna be the text. Actually, the text is gonna be a text mesh pro, no? So TMP text. Okay, I got my selectable. So for now, what we'll do is I have two functions: public void select, and when it's selected, we'll do that the icon is gonna be set. What's it called? Enabled or not enabled, sorry. We'll do the game object set active to true. And if it's not selected, then select. What does it complain something here? It says keyword new. Oh, because I'm doing this. I forgot about that. Let me remove this. Okay, there you go. So I've got my select, I'm at my instead it's select, we'll do deselect, and this is gonna be false. And for now we'll do two colors, protected color. Okay, we've got selected color and deselected color. So we'll take this, we've got the icon, deselect, we'll take our text, and text dot color is equal to this, and when it's selected, then it's equal to selected. Okay, so far so good. and somehow we'll take the selectable, and when the selectable is selected, we're gonna tell this thing that it is selected. But this is just a question of doing selectable, no, not selectable, selector handle, no, localization, none of these are UI. Let me see what I'm missing here. I've got iSelect handler and IDSelect handler. So maybe it's just a question of doing this. Unselect, undeselect. So for now we'll try this, and if it doesn't work, then let's see what needs to be changed. I'll start with the full screen one. Okay, so we got our full screen. It's gonna be our selectable or selection element. Selection element. Okay, there you go. We'll put this to white with this, and the selected, or actually, the selected is gonna be white, and selected is gonna be orange for now. Okay. The icon is something that we need to add, so let's create an image. So for now it's going to be really dirty because I'm just trying to make sure that the code works, and then we can see what we can do for the art. I'll just make something that's kind of representative of what we need. There you go. Something like this. Or we got our image, our text. So the image is going to be here, the text is going to be here, and the selectable is going to be this thing right here. Oops, I've added something else. Reset. No, reset, no, remove. Okay, so now what we gotta do is somehow get the selectable to send an event to this script right here that was selected. So the selectable itself is going to receive a selection, I believe, event, but our script is on this component. If I copy this component, remove component, and I put it here, paste component as new. Let's see if that does anything. There are some errors. Not quite sure what it is. Some selected or expanded objects are missing. Oh yeah, because I'm inside prefab mode. Okay. That's no problem. Oof. God, this is bad. So everything is inside a single place. Let's see if I can zoom out. We'll do save. Go back one place. So until here it's all good. And then when it fails it right here. What we'll do is take this, go inside our overrides, and then revert all. There you go, much better. So we got this thing. Oh, we're also going to change the color of this button right here. So let's go back to our script. We've got icon image, and we can do color. We'll equal to selected color. And do here the same. Well, in this case, selected color doesn't really matter actually, because I'm activating, deactivating the thing. Just waiting it to compile. And now it compiles. Positioning, there you go, options. Okay, so it does work, as you can see right here. It's selected, and if I press on, then this thing is being selected. So this is actually quite good. All we need to do now is maybe change the art a little bit. It's not exactly what I wanted, because now this is not a script, or it's not a prefab. I can't prefab all of these ones. I have a single thing. Maybe if I use 2 scripts, I definitely could. So I could have my selection element visual or view, public class selection elements view, and then my select elements control. Just like that. So now I can make this into a mono behavior. So this is the one that's going to receive the select and deselect events, and I'm going to put this on the toggle or on the other ones. And as soon as it's selected, then what I can do is all of these things right here. We'll have to see if that actually works on the other one, because I'm not 100% sure. But it's a good way to start. So this is going to be serialized field, protected, selection elements, view. I'm going to call this view. And my view is going to be view select and view deselect. Okay, so now I can make one prefab with this component, and then have the other component be controlled by this one. Okay, while it's loading, and do a little dance. Taking its time. Okay, there you go. Let me put the penguin back. So let's see. We've got our full screen options, and we've got our full manager. Okay, so we'll call this into prefab. So create empty, not allowed. Please go back. Save changes. I'm not really sure what changed. Thing failed. Check console window to get more info. You are trying to replace or create prefabbed instance. Consent selection element to right from the behavior. Okay, so maybe my change in the code did something incorrectly. The selection element view, selection element. Gotta rename it. Not sure why it didn't. Rename file. There you go. Loading again. It takes us a while to load. Okay, there you go. Finished. So let's go back to what we were doing before. So we've got our little thing here. Oop. System menu. Say save changes. And the reason it complains is because now this is something else. we're gonna take these two, create a parent, create empty. I will call it the selection view. Okay, got our selection view. And then we'll take these two, put inside, do selection, element view. And now we'll put back all these things that we had before. So this. The selectable is not needed anymore because we got our control. We'll do this. Selected color is gonna be what? A bit orange or yellow. You can always change those later, as long as we do have some white for deselected. And what do we need? I think that's about it. And we can create a prefab of this. So let's drag and drop it. We'll call it options selection view. Okay. I mean, there's probably a better name, but for now, it'll work. So we got our image, which is this thing. We've got our text, and we've got this. Now we've got our control here. And all we need to do is drag and drop this in here. Okay, so it's essentially that easy. If we wanted, we can make it as child so that it gets it automatically, but that's not really necessary in this case. All we need to do now is copy this text and paste it as a child. Best as child. We'll paste it everywhere. Paste as child. Music. Okay. And all of these texts, something I didn't explain is there will be some localization on those texts right here. So currently it's just a text mesh pro, but we'll add another component that will get this working. So we'll just take graphics. We'll go inside our selection view, take the text and remove this. And currently we can't really see it here, and the reason for that is because the selection view is currently in the wrong position. So here we've got the selection view. If we do, where's the button? Let me check. Okay, so where's our text? All the way over here. And why would that be? Graphics and selection view. Okay, so the selection view is all the way over here. If we just take our selection view in all of these, take the position, put it to 0, position Y to 0. Does it position it correctly? Yes, there you go. Now they're all correctly positioned. We've got this one called graphics. I'm gonna remove this text. We'll do the same for the other one. So resolution, goodbye. Volume. So this is taking a while because it's manual labor, but we're gonna be finished soon. So SFX and text, there you go. We got, okay, so full screen, graphics, resolution, volume, music. We got all of these ones correct. We've got our little icons here that are gonna appear and disappear normally. What I should do probably is go right here and disable, like make it in its default state. So this is gonna be disabled. We only see the full screen. There you go. Okay, so far so good. we just need to add this component, the selection control. So we'll copy this, put it on all of these. Music slider, SFX slider. We'll do paste component. Where's my paste component as new? There you go. And then I can select manually all of those. So for graphics drop down, then it's gonna be this. Selection view, master slider. So if there were more options, I'd probably do something more automatic. But in this case, I think it's just easier to do it this way. Okay. So normally all of these ones are going to be selected the way I want. And then those buttons are going to be below. Like they're the more important, let's say. And the next thing we're going to do is change these ones. But first, we gotta double check that our code actually works. Okay, so the first thing that gets selected is languages. So we'll need to change that. And then the other ones are not getting selected. They are getting selected here, but not here. So what's up with that? I'm actually not sure. Could there be something that's above? And that's a bit odd. I'm actually not sure what this could be about. Oh, again, I've got this in the prefab. I forgot to save the prefab and exit the prefab. That's probably the reason. So before I do that, let's just double check why this language is getting selected first. I believe the language button is this one. Got graphics, all of these, okay. And then the options menu, here it's gonna say the active button or select on open languages. We're gonna change this, instead of languages, we're gonna do full screen first because it's at the top. Full screen. But actually it's not this one. It needs to be full screen toggle. Okay. So now it's gonna select this one first, and then if we turn back on the visualize thing, so if I take this and do visualize, now we can see how these things are connected. So there are a lot of connections that are going outwards, but we can ignore those ones because they get disabled at runtime. So the important ones are going to be these two that are connected, and then for some reason something is linking to that. It's probably languages. So languages, here it says when you select on down, currently it's selecting this one, the full screen. So let me change this and put reset instead in down, and then in up it's gonna select the sound effects. Not this one. Cancel. Languages. Sound effects on up. Let's see if all of these are correct. So full screen. If I go here, we're gonna visualize. It says automatic, so that's fine. Then we've got this one, which is automatic 2. What's this? Automatic. I'm guessing this is gonna be automatic. Automatic. Where's this? Explicit sound effects. So music slider and reset options. In this case, it's not going to be reset options, it's going to be languages. So the reason we're using some of these things with explicit is just to make sure that we're not selecting things that are outside of the scope of this UI. Usually it's not the case because all of the other buttons are disabled at runtime, but we never know. Something could be set up wrong, and this is a better way to do it. So let me save this, apply my changes and overrides, apply all. Okay, then what we'll do is double check that it works, and then we'll change the UI for these things. So we save the prefab, we're back in the scene. Let's press play. Okay, so something definitely went wrong. Because this is not supposed to appear until later. Okay, so I've got options. I have to fix that. Again, languages was selected first. I think it's because we changed inside the prefab, but it didn't change outside the prefab, so we'll need to change that. But currently, as you can see, it's actually quite good. We can see what we're selecting. The arrow is not correctly placed compared to the text. It's not centered. But we could probably change the arrow for something else. Then for those buttons where the arrow disappears, which is kind of sad, I think, we could try to add the arrow on these two, on those buttons. This way the arrow just stays on the left. In that case, we could probably just have a single arrow that we move instead of having something like this where it's one image that gets toggled on and off. But the advantage of having something that gets toggled is we could potentially move these icons on the left, and then when we change it right here, when we go up and down, then they light up or they light down, whether they're selected or not. So it gives us more flexibility if we want to make a change later. Let's give it a go. So we gotta change the first thing that gets selected again, fix it. For some reason this is not selecting down, so we'll need to double check that and then change all of those. So let's see, this is our options menu. So if we go override, there's nothing to override. Okay. If we go inside, then this got overrides, nothing to override. So everything should be correct in that case. Let's go back. We got options menu right here. If we go up, see, it says languages again. I'm not really sure what happened here, but this shouldn't be languages. This should be full screen. Okay, so now we do save. I probably changed the wrong thing now that I think about it. Did I change? We'll have to see what I changed, because I might have made a mistake before. There you go. So we got full screen. So it says active while open and transition. I think I changed this by mistake. So active while open and transitioning is gonna be the entire canvas, not just a single button. Yeah, the entire canvas. This way, once this thing is open, so this is menu, a script I wrote. Once this is open, then the options canvas is gonna be open. That's probably why the thing appeared as soon as I entered the scene. The other thing was this button right here, reset options. Once I was pressing down, it wasn't going to right place, and that's because it was selecting the SFX slider instead of controlling this, which is the delete save data. I was actually selecting the controls, and if I go up, it should be the SFX sliders. I mean, the languages. So now I go back here, overrides, apply all, reset options button. Okay, so now everything should be correct. I believe. So what we're gonna do is start by changing this one, because this is using the Unity default toggle, which isn't really nice. We'll go here in the toggle, and what do we have? Do we have a check mark and then a background, which is this thing. So if we go here and go toggle, we must have something right here. So we got toggle with the check mark and then toggle without check mark. So what I could do is this toggle without a check mark, then check mark is just gonna be the toggle with this check mark. Toggle. Check. So here I have different options. I could use the check as a separate thing, so as a separate image, but or I can just draw both on the same thing. So in this case, this image is 64 by 69. Let's try to match the same resolution or the same ratio. Not really sure what they're using. Ratios that are so weird, but it's not that hard to replace. So we just do set native size, take this size right here, and all I'll do is try to match it more or less. There you go. And then we'll copy. No, instead of copying, we can just do this. Well, there you go. So this is checkmarked, not checkmarked. Okay, I think the reason they had such a weird thing is because of the shadow that I got here. If I go back, this is looking very nice. And we'll press play. After we checked out the prefab. Okay, options. Okay, it's very small. It's very, very small. Okay. So what we'll probably do is take this and make it much bigger. Let's see what would be the right size for something like this. Probably this. But in that case, most of these things are going to be bigger too. So I think what I'll do is maybe decrease the size of the text slightly, make these a lot fatter, and take more of the screen, obviously, because right now got a big empty space right here that's not doing much. Could make all of these buttons bigger and maybe put some spacing for these buttons at the bottom, and have those ones at the top a bit fatter, especially for the graphics drop down. These ones are very small right now, so I think I'm gonna make it much bigger. Okay, let's give it a shot. We'll take our little button. Maybe I'll go time game, so you can preview a bit more what we're doing. Okay, so the size that we've got is all of this. So we'll take both of those and take this. Okay, make it somewhat this big. See, it's already much better. And then currently it's at the right here. We're just gonna move the position X to... No, position X is incorrect. Actually, it's just the size. Instead of a size, perhaps I'm just gonna change what's inside. Because the reason it's not is because it's overflowing. There's something that's inside this guy. This guy should be like this. There you go. Now it should be exactly, there you go. Okay. So that's one. then we're gonna do this one, the graphics, because I think this is gonna be a bit complex. All of the game needs to work without mouse, because we're gonna do it so that it can work with controllers, and that's very important that those drop downs work with just keyboard or controller. Before we do these ones, because I think they're going to be the hardest ones, we're going to do those ones, the sliders. That should be relatively easy to do. All we need to do is change the image. Select the wrong thing. Music slider. There we go. We've got this button here, the knob, the handle. Let's see if we can find... We've got this one. This one is pretty nice. Slider. What I'm gonna do for this is get a slider from one of the prefabs of those assets that I bought. Let's first try the fantasy RPG one, prefabs. We got buttons, frames, labels, sliders. See, there's a ton of sliders. So let me just drag and drop all of them, so I can see a bit what I can look for. Once again, I forgot to stop the visualize, so let's do that first. Slider, visualize, yeah, otherwise it's gonna lag a lot. Let's see. So these ones are not what we want for, these are mostly for loading screens, for the legs, or for health bars, mana bars, etc. So is there anything here? There's more. Yeah, there you go. These are the ones I want. So essentially, what do they need for those? So it's this one or this one, white fill or demo. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete this. And I'm gonna delete this. Okay. I'll probably take, this is demo, fill. Okay. So it's just the white fill. So I'll probably, the only difference between these two is probably just the color, I'm guessing. So let me double delete this one and just keep this one. Okay. So I've got my slider, which is this. I know that works. And I'm gonna replace it with that. I do not want to just keep this prefab because my scripts are all working with this. So I'm gonna grab simply the sprites and change them. Okay. I got a fill. The fill is gonna be this. And then I've got the fill area and the white fill. Okay, so this is the background. My background, I've got it of something else, and it's called frame. Okay, let's see. This looks pretty nice. Let's move the slider a little bit. Okay, so it's not as good as the one they have. Let me just bring this underneath. I can see both. I think it's because mine is too small. That's most definitely the case. I'll need to fatten that a bit. I think also they've got some spacing right here, which is nicer than what I have. So this is the thing. I'm gonna make it a lot fatter. There you go. This way. We've got the background. For them, the background is the entire thing. In my case, I do not want it to be the entire thing. I think this is good enough. Got the fill area, which is gonna be slightly smaller, I think. Let me see if I put this to 0, 0. Okay, that's definitely not what I want. What do they have? They've got this thing, which is a bit smaller. Okay. So my fill area is gonna be also a little bit smaller. So smaller here, and then also up and down. We can actually see what's above and below. Okay, so that looks pretty nice, I think. Let me just put the slider all the way up. Okay. I think it hides a little bit, so that's fine. We'll do this, just move it a bit on the left. So we can see a little bit, but not too much. Okay. I do think there's more space on the top than the bottom. That's easy to double check. I just need to do this and this. There you go. So that they match perfectly. And maybe if I do the same on both sides. There you go. The handle is completely distorted. So in this case, my handle is this fat. So what do they have? I do 60 by 59. Can we do the same for my handle? So if I do 20, 20, it's very small. If I do 40, 40, make something that's square. Okay, I think this is pretty nice. Let me disable this. Okay, definitely broken something on this side. Why would that be? I got my sliders. I think it's because of the transform is different. If I do overrides, take my transform, white fill. Can't really change my thing. Okay. So let's see how different this is from this. Oh, wait. Why did it change everything? Oh, I think it's because this. I see what's going on. If I change this back this way, then now it looks nice. Okay, and the handle, for some reason, I have to change it to something else. So the handle, I'm gonna change it to this right here. Okay. And this needs to be 40 by 40. Okay, this is not correct. Because if I change this now, it moves. Okay. Okay, so I think the problem is this. This needs to be smaller, but much smaller, actually. This is what defines the size of that. So perhaps what I could do is do exactly what they did in the other place. So what they did here was take this, so up, down, and then max over here. So let's take this, up, down. Okay. And then width. Nope. The anchors. What did they have? Can I just copy this? Copy components. Paste component values. Okay. That's not really what I wanted. Handle. So their handle is actually on the right of this. So I need to do the same thing. Okay, if we take the slider again, it became bigger. What am I doing? I'm doing everything wrong. Let's give it another try. So this thing is correct. If I change, then everything looks okay. I want the same thing. Go to the fill area is fine, because that doesn't change even while because this is the fill area. So what does change is the fill. Oh, but they got the fill and the handles inside the fill. Well, I have this the slide area. That's probably the reason why. So if I do handle inside the fill, then I can copy what they did, which is this. Copy component, paste component values, and then here do the same thing. Copy components and paste component values. Okay, so not really what I want, but let's see if it actually works now. Okay, so it moves, but it doesn't move the way I would assume it to, which is kind of weird. Kind of accelerates. Let me see. So my fill area is this. This should go all the way up. And my handle will most definitely be on the right. And this should be 60. Actually, let's do 40 and 40 like I had before. Okay. Let's double check. So it goes back to whatever it was before. Not really sure why. For the handle, top, bottom. Okay. So that's fine. And I want this to be 40, but currently this is not 40, this is whatever the size of this thing is, which is defined by this. Okay, if I didn't do fill area this way, but instead this way, actually, no, this way. So now my height is 17, okay. So if I do height 20, and now I can change this slightly. My background, 0.25. Let's go back actually, because I think I'm trying to make it more complicated than it's supposed to be. Let me see if I can take this, make it smaller. Take the handle. If I change this now, the handle is still very big. If I change this to 40, 40, and change this, yeah, this works. I'm not really sure why mine doesn't, but I guess I can still change it. I'll take the fill area and we're gonna change slightly this to 4 or 2. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, so that works perfectly. I'm just gonna copy this whole component and put it instead of all of that. So let me remove of what I had before. Put this in instead. That's not what I wanted to do. Just do 0, 0. There you go. Let's put this to 30. Okay, so I've got this. Now I've got this slider and another slider. I've got the slider twice, which is a problem. So let me just disable this for now. Select that. We'll do this. And then fill rect is gonna be fill. And then handle rect is gonna be handle. See, it changed the whole thing again. The thing is something here that I'm doing incorrectly. Left to right, minimum value, whole numbers. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but definitely something is changing this. How's it different? Left to right. Oh, this one doesn't have a handle. Oh, could that be why? Could that be why it's different? Okay. In our case, we don't really need a handle either because we're controlling the controller, right? So I guess we need to give it a shot, because I'm actually not really sure what's gonna happen. But that explains why it wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. Let's give it a try. Okay, definitely not what I want. What's going on? Overrides. Got the audio. Got this. Handle. Okay. Let's do revert on the handle. There we go. Audio mixer is good. It needs to be this way. Color multiplier value is fine. And then this is also correct. Okay. I just need to do the same thing here. Revert. And music slider. Override. Oh, not music. SFX. And revert. Okay. There you go. But that took a lot longer than anticipated. And I don't even know if it works, so let's give it a try. Oh, I saw someone chatted in the chat. Toast, hi. I'm very sorry, I didn't look before. So let's see. The graphics and volume aren't being selected. Oh, once again, I forgot to remove the prefab. Let me... Oh, and I have the same problem here. Oh god. These prefabs are nested to infinity and beyond. Let me check this again. Music slider. There aren't any overrides. I need to do it here. Yeah, there you go, see? Revert the handle. Revert. And revert. Okay. Save. Go back. We got it here too. That's why I don't like scripts that change things in the view, or change values in the view, because otherwise with prefabs we've got all these problems. So I'm glad that what they did with the handle, essentially decoupling it from the slider. Plus we don't need it to work with the mouse, so that works out quite well for us. At least, of course, if it works, because if it doesn't, then never mind. Okay, so I go to options. Okay, so that all works. And yeah, it does. Nice, very nice. So now I can select the volume of the game. I'm not even sure if it's actually connected. I guess we can see that if I put the audio mixer right here. And I've got my main mixer, I believe, with the sound. So warning, one group currently muted. Is this the current one? There's no sound being played, so I'm not really sure if I'm actually playing anything. Oh, there you go. So you can see right here, the SFX for those buttons are set up, but not for the other ones. So I need to do that. That should be fairly easy to do. And if I change my SFX now, then you can see it's very low now. We can't even hear it. I put back. It works. Yeah, that's really cool. If I change music, we can actually see the handle right here that is changing. So I know that it works. Perfect. In that case, I need to add some effects on those. And on this one, I need a way to select. And I have the problem, which I was expecting, which is as soon as I press on this button and select the resolution, this thing gets unselected. And that's not what we want. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to fix that, though. With the solution I had for the arrows, it's not gonna really work out that well. Not really sure what I could do. Because that means that this selectable right here is the one I want when I select this. But as soon as I press this button, then the selectable gets unselected and it's selecting the things that are inside. So what could I do? What I could do is check if something else was selected, or because the other solutions would be to change completely what I did. I don't really want to do that. What could be the other options? Not really sure. So for example, if I did a thing where I selected this game object right here and all of these options, or I could disable a script actually. That's more of a hack than a solution. So what I could do is disable as soon as I press the button. This way, if I deselect the script, then what I would do is not update the unselect and deselect thing, and then reactivate it as soon as I make my option. Let's see, what are my options? Here I've got my resolution drop down. So here are all my options for my resolution drop down. And if it's selected or clicked, then something else gets selected, which are the options. And the options are selection view, template. What do I see? This is resolution drop down, low, and what are my selections actually? See, if I go back, oops, didn't want to do that. That's something else that's broken. If I go back and then press this, then two things are selected at the same time. So in any case, I need some way to be able to deselect everything. By default. Maybe my solution was incorrect. Not quite sure. If I think this through a bit more. I could have a manager, not a manager, but let's say a view. Was it my settings menu is this, and inside my settings menu I've got my grid, yes, with all my options, and my settings menu I've got all of these controls. I could potentially make a script or a component which can be the same for all of those, and instead of selecting the buttons, etc., then I select my component, and then my component selects whatever it is underneath. This way I can have complete control over the thing, and I don't really bother the Unity selectable thing. It could be an option. Not really sure if I want to do that. It does mean quite a bit more work. And I need to replace all the things I've done so far, but I mean it doesn't matter that much. The scripts I wrote are really simple, so that's not a problem. I guess I'll just for now change this part visually, and for the next stream I'll have something ready so we can move on. But I think this is gonna be, I'll end the stream as soon as I get this UI fixed. I mean, not fixed, but a better visual. So how does this work? This is drop down. Drop downs in UT are a bit weird, but it shouldn't be a problem. So the way it works is you've got this background here with the label and the arrow, and then inside the template you've got to scroll rect, and you've got an item. And the item is going to be duplicated for every single options that you have in this thing. So what I'm going to see is if in my things that I bought, if I got any drop downs are pre-done. So once again, I'll go back to Potion Blast Extra, RPG Kit, Prefabs, buttons, frames, label, pop-ups, slider, UI, panels. Doesn't seem to have anything. Drop down. Debug drop down. Option drop down. Where's this from? Easy feedback. Okay. So no, they don't have any drop downs built in. So I guess I can just do a button and then have an option inside. The important part is going to be this. This is currently using the font, which I do not want. Let's do this font. Noto Sans. Okay. We'll do the background into a button. Perhaps a frame is better for this. Definitely not this. Something similar to what we had for the note, not the note, the check mark. Because it's check mark. We were using this thing. Let's see. So this is what it looks like. UI, etc. I wonder what they have got frames. Maybe something like this, if it was cut, which is not the case in this one. Let's see. Is there any other options? I think what I could do is already make it bigger. Okay, not really what I want. Let's see if I do frame again. Nothing that really matches what I want, really. Oh, this is okay. I guess it's the same thing as the what's it called? The handler, no? Oh, it's called what's it called? Option drop down. Oh, this is a slider one. This could work. This is another slider. What about this? I mean, if I combine a few, it could work. So maybe something like this, and then I add something inside. But for now, let's go with this. I think this could work. Obviously, it's black. I need to put something inside, so UI image. Nope. Not sure where it is anymore. Yeah, I think it's one of these. Either basic type. So now I'll just do poof, there you go. And do 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. So now it looks like something like this. Maybe I'll do 2. No, that's not correct. That doesn't look good. Still no good. I'll go back to 4, 4, 4. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's still not great. We'll have the arrow. Let's change to an arrow that points down. Got this one which is going down, but it's not great. Can still rotate it. This one isn't too bad, I think. Let me just move it a bit to the left and I'll make it black. Okay, it might be a bit too big. Will that work? I think so. Okay, so this is my template now. I've got this thing which goes down. How could I make this work the way I want? I think the weird part is this thing kind of has an angle and this goes down straight. So perhaps I should change whatever is inside here, this background. But looking into sliders, I think it's the correct one. So perhaps Perhaps if I'd change to something like this in the foreground, obviously. So let me try to change this around. So I'll take this. This is called slider edge. I'll put this in front and then take this slider edge, which is this. I think this could work, and then make this bigger. Okay. And actually make it quite a bit bigger, so that it overlaps this way, and this way. Okay. Something in that vein, I think. Doesn't look great here. I think maybe something that is less gold-like. But perhaps this one. Is there one that's a bit less spiky? This one is less spiky, but is not very good, I think. This one looks pretty nice, I think. This could work. So if I put it here, okay, like this. Let me hide the template. Take this image. See? Yeah, I think that could work. So now I could take the template. Yep. Okay, and then we've got option 1. We've got a little tick, which is what is currently selected. So the viewport is using a UI mask. Let's change this to frame. Was it changing? It's supposed to change the viewport. I'm not really sure what's actually changing, because this is content, template. Oh, because the template's got, there's the frame. Okay. So this is the frame. Oops. Okay, so this is the frame. I'll select something that is less simple. This is called frame 1, frame 2, frame 4. Okay. I'll use this later for something else. It's good to know. I need to make note of this actually, because I was looking for them and I couldn't find them. Okay. Sorry about that. So let's do frame. And let's search again for the things that I want. So I could use something like this. It doesn't have the same color though. Is there anything else I could use? Nope. Nope. Because this is essentially the background of whatever I'm gonna select. Let's see. There's a lot of options, but nothing that really fits. Perhaps something like this. But then the options are going to be very small. That's the problem. I'm scared you can't even read what's inside because of how small it is. What I could do is make the template bigger. So make this selectable. And then once you select it, then there's a bigger thing underneath. That could be an option. What about pop-up? Because essentially it is a pop-up. Something like this. I think that could work. Even, I mean, if I put the scale slightly down, it could work with the image. Because this one has a transparent background. So let's say I take something like this, which is similar color. Okay. And then I could make the template slightly bigger than whatever is inside. Okay, then the viewport is gonna be what we actually see. The viewport in this thing needs to be the same size. I'm guessing it's because it's getting controlled by something else, some layout somewhere. Content, viewport, and template. So my content, and then the viewport is this. Yep. Okay. So template. And the template is getting controlled by the drop-down, which is this template. Okay, and the template needs to have the scroll rect. So if I do it like this, viewport. Viewport is what you actually see, right? Scroll bar. I can already change the scroll bar. If I go to RPG prefabs, labels, sliders. Let's see. If I bring this back here, is there anything that looks like a scroll bar? Let's remove this. I think in the other pack there might be something better for something so small. Prefabs, buttons, frame labels, sliders. Okay, that is a lot of sliders. Nothing that really looks like a scroll bar though. I guess I'll just try to do it myself. Let me just see if I can change the size of this thing, because I think the outline here is a bit too big for what I want it to be. So if I did 0.5 or something like that. And then change this back up. I think that didn't help. If I exaggerate it completely. Okay, I can't even see what I'm doing anymore. Yeah, I don't think this is helping. Let's try another solution for this. If I go with one of the simple UIs, simple frames, with smaller frames. Frame. Is there something that's smaller? Because all of these are pretty big. I mean, this one is smaller. I think that could be better than what I had before. But still, the cut here is very sharp. Is there no frame that's less sharp? Let me see. Selecting something that looks good is really hard. Especially when you don't really know what you're looking for. Could go with one of these. I think that might be a bit better. Okay, so I've got my viewport. My viewport needs to be the full size. And the reason it needs to be the full size because it's inside the scroll rect. And what I'm thinking is, does the template image need to be here? I don't think so. I could cut this, copy components, remove components, create a new image. We'll call it backgrounds. Okay, if it lets me. There you go. I'll do paste components values. There you go. I put this the big size, and then now this I can do -5 or something. Okay, if I put this slightly up, I think that works, kind of. And then we've got my options, a viewport, content, item. The item is toggle. And I got my background, check mark. Check mark, I'm gonna see if I don't have another one. which is a bit nicer than this. I think this one could look nice. I make it black. Yeah. Either black or some kind of yellow or orange. Yeah. No, that's not really what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's do it for black for now. And definitely a bit on the sides. I need this to be like 15, 15. Okay. Okay, so now I've got this right here. My item background is currently no sprite. If I make a frame and select something that's... Nope. Is there some kind of frame? Nope. Maybe it's too small to have something special about it. Maybe I'm better off with making it full, simply a block. And the label is obviously this, okay. So content, height 28, it's taking the full length. The viewport is the full length, and then the background can make it a tad bigger this way. Okay. I do wish I could make it so it's a bit different. Maybe if I put the background in front, but it doesn't have a transparent background, that's the thing. Maybe if I find something else. Let's say I put a frame, because that could look nice. If I put a frame, which is a transparent frame, similar to this one right here, but this one is too rounded on the edges. Couldn't there be an option without such rounded edges? This is way too big. Nope. I guess what I could do is cut the thing myself. It's not a big change. I could do... Let's go back to one I had before. Which one was it? This one. I could potentially take this image. Where is it? Pop-up frame 1. Okay. Duplicate it. And now I'm gonna edit this sprite editor. Oh, I do not have the sprite editor in this project. Wow, okay. That definitely tells me I didn't change anything in the UI before. So let's go to panels, package manager. And we need to go to Unity registry and sprites. Oops. Okay, so while this is downloading, I'll double check a few things on the stream to make sure that nothing exploded. Okay. So nothing did. Good. Oh. So I've been streaming for how many hours now? I started at 1:30 and it's 3:30 right now. So about 2 hours. I think as soon as I got this thing sorted out, I'll end the stream there. And for next time, I'll see if I can get a bit more prepared. This is taking a while. A little dance with the music. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, there you go. That works. Let's bring back the penguin to its original place. Or you this way. Okay. So I've got a sprite editor normally. I'm gonna take this, go to sprite editor, and I can cut it differently. So let's see. I'll see if I can cut it this way. Because it will do some weird things with. I see why they didn't cut it differently. Okay. But if I do this way, and then this way, okay. Okay, so that should work already a little better, so I'll apply. And another thing we could do is change here the pixel per unit to see if we can change it right here. So, is it my background, this one? Frame 1.1. As you can see, it did change something. It actually made it bigger, but definitely not what I wanted. But now that we have this control, if we change this to 10, I mean 1000 instead of 100, then it makes it a lot smaller. As you can see right here, it's this size. So this is actually what we want. Make it way smaller, but not that much, obviously. So maybe twice. So now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Maybe 300. Very nice. I think this is what we want. So we've got our thing. It's transparent. Now the background, this one is not what we want. I think I'll make this one just a white background. Okay. And we'll just make it a bit smaller, but it doesn't overlap. I'll just do, what, 555? Oh, maybe that's a bit much. Oh, because I forgot, we did make the one bigger. Okay. So let's make it -5, -6. Yeah, -6, -6. 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay. And then top. Need to make it a bit smaller so we can hide it, and bottom will do the same thing. Bottom right here. This way we hide it a little bit more on the right. There you go. Okay. So we got a white. This is all good so far. We got our option A that I selected. I think that's good. I think so far so good. We just need to do something for the scroll bar. I think the scroll bar is going to be a problem because it's behind the background. So if I make this background a bit fatter, yeah, there you go. Yep. So at least now we can see the scroll bar. And the scroll bar, if I'll try to cover it. Okay, this way. Very nice. And then scroll bar, we've got the scroll thing, which is the background. I think that's fine. Scroll area, and then the handle. The handle is a UI sprite. If I do handle right here, I've got these ones. But currently, yeah, I see what this is doing. White handle. I think we can leave it with the default for now. We'll see how that looks first before we make any bigger changes. At least a few things I have changed. I think it could definitely look better, and things will change in the future. But I mean, it's an iterative process, so we're gonna give it a try first. Okay, so if we go to options, okay, it's definitely better. It's still very small. I think I'm trying to constrain everything in this small area when I have the entire screen I could be using. So I'm definitely gonna make it bigger. I think I'll make it a lot bigger. Actually, I'll take the full screen. The buttons can stay the same, perhaps. These could be separated, maybe take a bit more space over here, this way. And what else could I do? Make the arrow, this one, go to different places. I think I'll change the code for that. But at least we get our selection, which is very nice. We can actually see. Which was not the case before. When we select this, we've got this drop down. It's actually not that bad. There are too many options though, and we can scroll past the scroll bar, which is a problem. I think this is a limitation in Unity, right? Because we can scroll this way. I think I'll have to do my own drop down. I really don't like the drop down that Unity has. Plus we can't even see our thing right here. There's a few problems with this. I'll have to find another solution. I mean, when it's there's not that many options, it actually looks alright. Actually, it doesn't look that good, but never mind. we can fix that another time. I'll fix that outside of the stream. It'll be easier for me. This is another bug that we'll need to fix. But I think in general, it's much better than before. We still got a ton of things that we need to look through, because once we go through here, we got Venture 4. There are these buttons right here that we still need to fix. And then versus battle, this whole UI needs to be redesigned a little bit, because selecting the characters is alright. The problem is, once I select the character and then another controller, I can plug it in correctly. So if I select, should I go back? Sometimes the controller doesn't work, I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure if it's a Unity thing or if it's my computer that doesn't detect the controller. The controller just shut down. So it's possible that my controller is the problem. Yeah, my controller is just shutting down. Never mind then. But essentially what I wanted is something where you select the character, you press a button, and when it says ready, press to continue. I want something that's a bit more clear on the whole screen. There's also this W that gives you some information. This needs to be addressed because For right now, it says W, but it should be able to tell whether you're using a controller or gamepad. And obviously here we've got lighting problems. We need to redo all of these, all of this UI. We've got this UI that we need to fix too. Begin. This one is all right. There are still quite a few placeholders, for example, here for the images that needs to be fixed with the new renders of the different places. And then we've got the entire upstairs where we've got the stats, etc. That hasn't been implemented at all yet. We'll have to do that at some point. Right now, the reason we don't see the house is because I'm only loading in the master menu scene and not the art, and that's just to make things faster for me to iterate through. But obviously, if I want to make it, want to see the real thing, then I have to load from the master scene. Okay, so I think we'll stop here for today. We did do quite a bit of things, not exactly everything I wanted, but that's how it is. I mean, we can't always have everything we want working on the first try. I'll do a bit more research on the UI things on the game UI database. Perhaps there's some other UI options or layouts that I want to do that might look better for what I need. Let me see, where are we? There you go. So I think we will stop here. And next time, for the next stream, I'm not really sure when it will be. Perhaps next week. I'll try to do once a week, just to show a bit more progress on the game, and this way I can still concentrate during the week to actually implement stuff. And perhaps next time we'll show more things that are, what's it called? More gameplay with multiple people playing. And that's it. I hope to see you guys next time. And bye-bye. Have a nice day.